Hi guys, this is Tim Queen, and today we're going to talk about if you should remove connections on LinkedIn. Now, instead of removing people, the much easier approach is to actually start by qualifying people to connect with in the first place. This way you don't have to remove people later. So here is like a couple of reasons why you don't want to connect with some people and why you want to remove them later if you didn't catch them in the first place. So some people, they just don't have anything in common with you. They're just connected with you at some point in time. Maybe they were a co-worker or like some colleague at university, and you just connected out of necessity. Like nobody wants to be like the odd one, like rejecting like someone you're hanging out in the office every day long. Like so much drama. Sort of people have like a lot of baggage in their connection. It's like some people they work with, there's no really an overlap. You didn't really like the people. They don't post anything interesting. So if you have people like this, you want to be careful and like just throw them out after a while if you're switching companies or industries. Then another thing is oftentimes like people switching industries, and when they switch industries they suddenly don't have anything in common anymore, and there is no possibility for future collaboration with some colleagues in other industries. So in that case, if you're not big friends with them or there's like some other form of value that you might have with them, just remove people who are no longer relevant to your new industry or the direction where you're going, the development, what you're doing. Then another reason why you might want to think about accepting connections and removing them is that most people, one of the reasons why you want to think of removing people is also because they don't have your best interest in mind. A lot of people just connect with you because they want to spam you. They use some tools to send you automated messages. Other people, they just want to connect with you because then they have usually access to your email address. If you didn't disable this by default, they can just scrape your profile, download your contact information. Some use that to send you automated emails later. Others, more devious people, just compile lists. They just take your industry and your job title and your email address and they sell them to other people. So that's why you get a lot of those cold emails where you're like, where did they get my email from? Because you connected to some people who just downloaded your contact information. So that's another reason why you want to be careful. And yet another group of people who don't have your best interest in mind is the ones who just want to bridge the gap between the third and the second collection. So now this how this works on LinkedIn is if you are a non-premium member, you're not paying anything, you're like on the free tier and you want to send anyone a connection request, you can only do that to second level connection or to those where you have the direct link to their profile. Now, if you go on a search and you find someone and this is a third party connection, this is not able to connect to you. But if they're clever and they just connect to some key people who have like a big network or who are connected to key decision makers, suddenly you are bridging the gap for them. Suddenly they can reach out to the big CEO who's then super annoyed because the CEO accepted their connection request because you were a mutual connection and they trusted you. So think about this. Do you really want to be like the one like getting the blame when someone is like mutual connection and then reaching out to important people in your network and annoying them? Do you want to take the blame for that? No, I guess not. So don't connect to those people in the first place. A couple of other reasons why you don't want to connect with everyone. It becomes really difficult to maintain your connections. They say that most people can only keep in touch with about like 200 people plus or minus in their life. This is realistic. But if you have like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 connections, it's not impossible anymore. And the worst part is it's not really possible to maintain this and to keep track of everything going on in your network. Think about this. You can maybe see like 10, 20 contacts per page on LinkedIn. If you now want to find someone, how many pages do you have to open till you find this person if you have 10,000 connections? It probably takes you hours. And the worst part is you can't even like check them out because if you click every single profile, LinkedIn will think you're like a spam bot who's trying to steal other people's contact information. You're going to be blocked out from the system. So it becomes almost impossible once you reach a certain threshold to remove people from your network because you're not even finding them anymore. The thing is also that a lot of people just connect with you because they want to read your content. And there is a much better way how you can get those people, give them the content that you want to share with them. You change your default action from a connect button to a follow button and you encourage people to follow you. This way people can get your content in their inbox, in their newsfeed, but they don't have the ability to send you messages unless there is something coming along and suddenly the situation is changing and they have a reason for you to connect and to exchange messages and at which point they can send you a connection request. But it makes it really easy for you to maintain your connections. If you just have like 500, 1,000 people, which you have really carefully selected, and you really put a lot of thought about like each and every one who you connected, then it's much easier to go through a list and to find out, look at this, I almost forgot about this person. Now it's like time, like maybe I should send them a message, like I haven't like talked to them in a while. But if your connections are completely random and you have 10,000 connections and you're like, I have no idea who this is, or this, or this, or this, or this, and you have to go through like, let's say 500 connections until you find this one pearl, which is really like a really valuable connections you want to stay in touch with, you want to build your connections with. If you don't see this by going through your list once in a while, then it becomes really difficult in those important connections. Like they might forget about you, you might forget about getting in touch, and then at some point this is like all not going well. So here's my recommendation. Remove people periodically, once per month. Just have a quick audit, look through your connections and remove 10 to 20 people. And if you do this on a consistent basis, you will notice that after a year, you have already removed like between like 120 and 240 connections. As a rule of thumb, every time you connect with someone, open up your connections and remove 1 or 2 people to keep up the same volume of quality. People you don't feel are like of relevance anymore. You're not working in the same company anymore, you're not working in the same industry anymore, the person is connected but then has sent you a sales pitch or is consistently bugging you with like information that you don't want to hear, they don't provide any value. Remove 1 or 2 connections for every person you're adding, and then you're going to see you have a high quality network and every single person on your connection is there to stay and to build a strong foundation. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you delete connections? Make sure that you hit subscribe and turn notifications on to get more videos like this in your inbox.